Good afternoon. This is the Central Florida Computer Society, or, and I should say, the Sarasota Technology User Group, Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, September 8th, 2024. Welcome, all of you. And I'm Huey Poplock. Let me stop the share here. And I want to say hello to everybody and welcome. I'm glad you're here. We've got a busy day ahead of us. And then right after this meeting, the Central Florida Computer Society main meeting is going to be an interesting topic as well. So it will be the same sign in, so you don't even have to sign out. If you want to take a break, just turn off your screen and your microphone, and then come back a few minutes later when it starts. Uh, I want to again thank everyone for coming. And as usual, what we do is we go out to the website of Huey of the WinSig on Huey.net. And let me go ahead and share that. Share it. And I'll minimize this. And I'll bring up and we'll come here. And this is the WinSig, and I posted it about a week ago now, the September topics that we're going to cover, and we'll go through each one of these as far as we can get to anyway, time permitting, and we'll talk about them. And this is recorded, so you're able to watch it on the CFCS YouTube channel usually after a couple of days. So here are the topics we're going to cover, and let's go ahead and get started. The first one, what's new in Copilot? And let me go ahead and bring that up, make sure it's large enough for you to read. And what's new in Copilot for August 2024? So it's just a week or so ago that this article came out. And there's some admin and management capabilities and some end user capabilities. And then this article explains each of those. There's a new risk assessment quick start guide, which talks about the risk assessment for the AI and Copilot, additional language support for Copilot. And Copilot, by the way, is changing their name to Microsoft 365 Copilot for verse 365 or something like that. Anyway, they're just putting in the Microsoft 365 in the title. This article, Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 is empowering the public sector. So it just talks about a little bit about some of the things that are changing in the way you use Copilot. So that's an interesting article. And let's go ahead and go to the next one. Right mouse click. Microsoft Copilot, everything you need to know about Microsoft AI, and this is from TechCrunch. Copilot is Microsoft's take on productivity boosting generative AI, and it continues to grow and expand with Microsoft's AI ambitions. So it talks about, what is Microsoft Copilot? Previously known as Bing Chat, is being built into Microsoft search engine, Bing, as well as Windows 10 and 11, and the Microsoft Edge sidebar. Newer PCs even have a dedicated keyboard key for launching Copilot. There's also standalone Copilot apps for Android and iOS, and an in-app Telegram room. And you can see what Copilot looks like here. It's powered by the fine-tuned versions of OpenAI's models. OpenAI and Microsoft have a close working relationship. Copilot can perform a range of tasks described in natural language, like writing poems and essays, as well as translating text in other languages and summarizing sources from around the web, and sometimes imperfectly. Copilot, like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, can browse the web, in Copilot's case, via Bing, for up-to-date information. It sometimes gets things wrong, but for timely queries, access to search results can give Copilot an advantage over offline bots such as Anthropic's Claude. So what you might want to do is if you're looking to do something that's going to involve some research as well as checking on the internet, then this is where Copilot really comes in handy, and I use it quite often for that. And it goes on again. You can read this article. There is a link on the page that takes you to the article just as I did. And then what is Copilot Pro? It's Microsoft's premium Copilot product. It's $20 a month. It's similar in some ways to rival generative AI chatbot plans like OpenAI's ChatGPT Plus and Google's Google One AI Premium, but not exactly the same. Copilot Pro customers get priority access to the most capable OpenAI models like Chat for Omni uh, and GPT for Omni, and during peak times. And select features of Copilot can only be accessed with a pro subscription, such as higher resolution images from Image Creator. So, good article to read and to keep for your collection of information so you can explain to other people what Copilot is and so on. So, another good article. How to be better organized in your browsing with Max Focus. You'll notice when I clicked the article just before this, when I held down my left mouse button and it opens up this window, and I can change this. I can zoom in, zoom out. I can use some AI tools with it, and so on. This is explained in a video that I did recently. It was shown on Tech for Senior, but if you want to watch it again, it's I'm not going to start it here, but it's being better organized in your browsing. And it is a video that's 12 minutes, 13 minutes long about using Max Focus. And I really like it. I'm using it a lot. And I'm now using it for our Sunday meetings here on Windows in the WinSig. That just makes it easier. I don't have to open up all those windows. I can come on one at a time. And so we go to the next one. Microsoft Edge can now explain PDF documents to you using AI. When I hold the left mouse button down, it opens up Max Focus, that same article, in a way that gives me, I can zoom in on it, and it leaves out all of the ads and so on. So the built-in PDF reader now in Microsoft Edge browser is getting more features. Powered by Microsoft's Copilot AI, Edge can now pick out the main points of a PDF document to help you better understand what's written. So in the latest beta version of the Edge browser, there's now a new button in the menu bar of the PDF reader, and it's labeled as Generate Smart Keywords for this document with Copilot AI. So what it's saying here, I think, is in the beta version, I know Bob uses the beta versions of these. Apparently, it's not quite released yet, but it's coming soon. So it's something to look forward to, and it'll give you some extra help when you're using Microsoft Edge and and Copilot. With that, I'm going to stop the share and see if there's some discussion on any of this. Um, uh, Bob, have you noticed that in your beta Microsoft Edge?
I haven't, Huey, but I haven't spent a lot of time in the beta version of Edge.
Uh, Ron, you have your hand up.
Yeah, Huey, if most things I find Microsoft does are very confusing, and adding off what is it, Microsoft 365 Copilot is going to be the new name for Copilot. Now, that is a bizarre thing. Does that mean you need to buy Microsoft 365 before you can use Copilot? And if you don't have to do that now, is that coming? And isn't going to add a massive amount of confusion for people?
Right. Confusion, yes. Purchasing it, no. You still can use Copilot without the Pro version. But in your Microsoft Office, well, it's not an Office, Microsoft 365, you're going to have Copilot built in. You're not going to have to click an extra button outside of it and open up the app. It will be included in the various programs like Excel and Word and so on that will be uniquely set up for that particular app.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I mean now I think if you have Windows 10 or 11, I think it's on the button is already there. I mean, it's already on your taskbar, so it's there anyway. But you're gonna see Microsoft 365 Copilot, which the first thing you're gonna wonder is, do I have to buy my 365? I mean, it's really going to be a dumb idea, I think, to name it that.
It was
You know,
always
that's
taught, keep it simple, stupid, and this sure doesn't make it simple.
No, this is going
no,
to add a lot of this is going to drive people nuts.
yeah, it drives them nuts now, but it'll make it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, One thing I noticed when I opened up Edge earlier this week, I had some strange things come up, and I have not read anything about them. But let me show you. I did some screen captures while I was clicking on it, and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and share it again. And this time I am going to minimize this and bring up. I hope I didn't close it out. There we go. And let's look at the first one I got. This was what I got when I opened up Edge. It said your browser has been updated to the newest version. Microsoft Edge is your AI-powered browser, uh, a smarter way to browse. And then it said click next. So I clicked next. And then I got this, and it says there's new in Copilot craft prompts for any task with Microsoft Copilot. So Microsoft Copilot and Edge, your AI companion for the web, helps you create, find, and do beyond what you thought was possible. Well, that doesn't explain a whole bunch saying, except we do some more things. Now you can either open Copilot or hit next, and this is what the screen would look like. And you got to create, write, and plan, create an image of a house. So you can do this, I guess, right in uh, Edge is what it's sounding like. Let me go to the next screen. And then I got this quick search, quick answers, instant info at your fingertips from currency rates to unit conversion. And apparently you can now type in things right in your search box in Edge or the URL area. And when you do, you can perform calculations, you can do different things, units, currency, quick, and so on. So let's go to the next screen that I got. Whoops, that's not what I have to do. I do it here. It says reflect your voice with Compose. Compose in Copilot now allows you to refine the AI generated draft to your liking with custom writing tones, feedback suggestions, and more so that the draft can represent your writing style. And so it's something we're going to have to play with, I guess, to figure out what it means. But again, this is the series of screens I got when my uh, uh, browser was updated. Let's go to the next screen. Automatically organize your tabs. Automatically create tab groups based on tab similarity with the assistance of AI to save time and stay organized with Microsoft Edge. Click the Tab Actions menu and select Organize Tabs. So apparently you can have tabs and groups of tabs. Uh, so when you click on it, that it'll give you a drop down, I guess, and give you several tabs in that particular group. And again, going to the next one, uh, compare prices and save, shop smart and save more. Microsoft Edge searches the web to find the best prices online and let you know if what you're looking for is available at a lower price anywhere else. So that looks like an interesting thing to have. And again, I haven't tried any of these, and I don't even know whether I have access to it yet. But apparently, according to this, uh, I'm supposed to, I guess. I haven't played with it. Compare with other retailers, and it gives you some information. And let me click the next one. So you're 3 steps away from getting the best browsing experience. Uh, Keep your browsing data up to date. Regularly bring your favorites, passwords, history, and cookies from and more from other browsers. So you can import all of your bookmarks and your passwords and so on. You can bring them right into Edge by just clicking import. And then you can stay in sync while on the go. Download the Microsoft Edge app to continue browsing on your phone and stay in sync across your devices. So if you're working on your desktop and you're going out and you're just going to take your phone, if you have this ability downloaded and available for you, when you pick it up on your phone, it's going to be right where you left off on your desktop. And then pin sites for faster access. Pinning gives you quick access to the sites you love and use the most without even opening the browser. Select sites here to pin them to the Windows taskbar, and you can do that from here. And let's see, is there another one? Yeah, craft prompts for any task in Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot and Edge, your AI companion for the web, helps you create, find, and do beyond what you thought was possible. I guess this is back to the beginning one, I think. Yeah, it is. So you get the idea. Let's go ahead and any comments about what I found and
Make
any
Edge
getting.
make Edge your default browser in both your computer and your laptop, and then automatically things sync. But if you make Chrome your default browser in both your desktop and your smartphone, things also sync. And if
Yes.
you make one of the other ones the browser in both places, it'll also sync. So it's a good, nice description of trying to get you to make Edge your default browser.
Yeah, you do have to turn on that syncing. It may not do it automatically. Any other comments? Anybody using that on either Edge or one of the other browsers? I know I use it in Chrome.
So do I.
Okay, let's go ahead and share again. And so where are we here? Edge can now explain PDF. I think we just did that one. Microsoft August Patch Tuesday. This was a couple of weeks ago, uh, but what I'm showing you here more than to talk about what it patched and fixed and added is the fact that you can look up every time there's an update. You can find what it updated. Usually it describes everything, but not always, as I have found. But so you might want to look through this one. And then if we go to the next, uh, this was the Windows 10 update and 5 changes and fixes, and it explains them. So you want to go to the Windows update, check for updates, and then one of the things in there, you can look up what when it shows the updates, you can click and download and install. And after it's installed, you can click on it'll say what's new. And it does explain what's been updated in this. And this is Windows 10. So Windows 10, of course, is still being updated as well and will be until sometime next year. I guess it's October of next year. And then a Windows 11. Again, updates and sharing to Android devices. And so Uh, One of the things it says it's going to do is going to allow you to use your Windows Explorer and your Android device. I haven't been able to make that work yet, so I don't know whether it's still in beta. But this is one thing that I hope to be able to use to make it a little bit easier to move files back and forth. But if you remember, I used a program called Local Send. I did a video on it, and we talked about it, I think, on Tech for Senior, and I think we talked about it here. But I use it to move files back and forth between my phone and my PC, and it's much faster than any of the other ways I have found. So that's Local Send. So let's go ahead and close this. Microsoft secretly updated Windows security to fix an important issue. Let's see what that's all about. Microsoft secretly updated Windows security. Recently, Microsoft, come on, that's an advertisement. Microsoft released a Windows update on the down low that mainly fixes a major problem in Microsoft Defender antivirus. This was first spotted and reported by NeoWin. The update, called Security Intelligence Update version, and it gives the number, addresses a problem where Windows systems become vulnerable for a short time after installation. So it was a big security hole in Microsoft Defender, and they have fixed it. Another reason why updating quickly Microsoft, the operating system, and its updates is important. And then if you want to check to see if the update was installed, for most Windows users, the update was probably already installed for you. If you want to be sure, you can check by launching Windows Security, then clicking the virus and threat protection tile, and then clicking check for updates. And then it tells about the following updates. So let's go ahead, and I think I can remember what to do here. And then it was privacy and security. And then what was it? According to, let's see, where to go. Security, virus and threat protection, and then check for updates. Whoops. Okay, let's see. Windows security, maybe. Virus and threat. Why am I having trouble saying that? Threat protection, and then current threats, virus that, and where does it say to check to see if there's updates? Quick scan. I don't want to do that. Allow threats. I don't see where it asks for you to check, see if it needs to be updated. Manage settings. Protection updates. There we go. Maybe there. Check for updates. Looks like I got mine created 9 is up to, so I'm up to date. Last update was the 8th, which is today. So I did it. No, that's just what I just did now. And it was created this morning. So it was updated this morning. So that's how you do that. And Microsoft seemingly backtracks on removal of control panel from Windows. You may have been seeing where Microsoft's trying to uh, eliminate the old control panel, which still exists on different versions of Windows. It's still there. However, a lot of it's been moved over to the settings, but some of the items still are in the old control panel. And the reason why is they have to reprogram and write code to make it part of settings as opposed to the control panel. And so they're trying to remove control panel, but they aren't there yet. And so they said they were going to do away with it, but apparently there's some things that they can't easily port from control panel into settings and then remove them from control panel. That's what that article basically says. Uh, how to quickly restart File Explorer and fix freezes. Mastering Windows 11, how to quickly restart File Explorer and fix freezes. And this is from Groovy Post. Let's see, I opened up the article and that's not what I wanted to do. We'll come back here. And there we go. When File Explorer freezes while managing files and folders, it dampers on your workflow. Luckily, you can restart File Explorer, and this tells you how you can do that. So if File Explorer locks up, and it has for me at different times, when you're in the zone working with files and folders and getting things done on Windows 11, nothing is more annoying than when File Explorer freezes up. Unfortunately, it can freeze up while you're in different workflow phases. So the good news is that there are a few ways to restart File Explorer in Windows 11. Like restarting File Explorer on Windows 10, you can get it working again on Windows 11 so you can continue getting things done. And this guide will show you some different ways to restart. And one of them is using Task Manager. And that's usually the way I use it. Right click on the taskbar, and I'll do that right now. I right click on the taskbar, and you'll see Task Manager is right there. You can also press Control Shift Escape to open it directly. And you can see here, this is what it looks like on my screen. Select the Processes tab on the left and scroll down to Windows Explorer and click Restart from the menu. So let's do that. We'll go to Task Manager. We'll open up Task Manager. And down over here under Processes, where I already am, you'll see it's here. And then don't think there's a way for me to make this bigger. I'm sorry. But you can come down here, and then let's say we're looking for Windows Explorer to make it a lot easier. Any of these columns can be clicked on, and it alphabetizes it. So if we do names, now they're in alphabetical order. First, the apps and then the background processes, and then you come down here to Windows Explorer, and you find Windows Explorer. Is it down here? Driver, yeah, it might be up here in one of these others.
Yeah, it's
It
back
was
up
up
at the top.
top.
You passed it.
I passed it.
Yeah, back up at the top. It
Oh,
was in the
okay.
first group
That's why I have you here to help me.
right there.
Yeah, right here. If I
Yep.
if I right mouse click it, one of the things here is to end the task, or you can restart it. And if you restart it, it will restart it for you. So if it's stuck, that will force it to restart. So, and you can, I also have that sometimes when I'm working in something in Edge or in Chrome and it locks up on me, I will do a similar thing. I will go out and find it in in Task Manager. Again, Task Manager. I will come down, let's say Chrome locked up on me. I just right mouse click it and tell it to end the task, and then I open up Chrome again. And that takes care of it. And sometimes, when you go to a website and all of a sudden you get those flashing things that's saying you've got a, a problem, there's a virus or there's a malware or whatever, and it's flashing and so on, and you can't get it to stop. Well, just open up Task Manager, go to whatever browser you're using, and tell it to end the task, and that whole screen goes away. Then open it up, and when you open it up, it may say you closed Chrome with some items open, do you want to restart those? And you say no, and then it won't be there, and then you're starting from scratch and it goes away. So with that, let's go ahead and stop and see if we got some comments. Anyone? How many of you do use the Task Manager? And how many may not use Task Manager? Uh, it's a useful tool, and it's easy to get to, and it's easy to work with. Steve Parker, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say I use the Process Explorer, which is the sysinternals version of Task Manager. It's a bit more advanced version that allows you to do extra things with it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, when you're in that Task Manager and the only Windows Explorer one you've got open, you don't want to end the task, because if you do that, you won't be able to get back into Windows unless you reboot the whole system. So you just want to make sure you restart it.
Okay, that's Windows Explorer, not Windows, or not the browser. Okay. Okay, any other comments? Your hand's still up, Steve. There you go. Anyone else? Comments? Questions? Okay, let me go ahead and reshare. 8 tricks for File Explorer tabs on Windows. Let's take a look and see what's there. Notice that Max Focus also gives us a couple of questions here. How to open a new tab? What are the tab shortcuts? What are the tab shortcuts? And then when to use duplicate tabs. So you can click on those and it'll give you other answers. But right now it's just showing us the article. And tabs aren't just for your web browser. Tabs file management is awesome. Page last updated was August 15th, about a month ago. Not quite a month ago. Tabs aren't just for your web browser. Tabbed file management is awesome. PC users begged Microsoft for tabs in File Explorer for many years. Now, Windows 11 PCs offer tab-based file management system, and there's a lot you can do with it. The File Explorer tab experience is extremely useful, and it can really streamline your file management if you're working on with multiple windows. Like in Chrome and other web browsers, switching between tabs is much more convenient than juggling a pile of File Explorer windows with Alt-Tab. Alt-Tab moves you from screen to screen. But this only works in Windows 11. Windows 10 doesn't have the File Explorer tabs unless you turn to third-party applications. So get Windows Intelligence and get a free Windows Field Guide. Oh, this is for an ad from where the article is. Okay, here are the tricks you can use for tabs in File Explorer. You can open a new tab by pressing Control T or click the plus button at the top of the toolbar. To open a folder in a new tab, middle click it, or right click it and select Open in a new tab. To move files between tabs, click and drag a file to a tab. File Explorer will then switch to that tab, and you can finish dragging it and dropping it in the file, dropping the file wherever you like. To reorganizing tabs, you can drag and drop them. You can also drag and drop tabs between different windows. Drag a tab away from a tab bar to make the tab its own separate window. To combine two File Explorer windows into one, drag the tab in one window to the other window's tab bar. And to duplicate a tab, right-click and select Duplicate. And as of mid-August, this feature is gradually rolling out. So if you don't have it yet, you should soon. And then to close a tab, press Control W or middle click on the tab bar. And to close multiple tabs, right click a tab in the tab bar and select Close Other Tabs or Close Tabs to the right. So those are different things you can do with the tabs in Windows Explorer. So we've got Windows Explorer here, and let's go ahead and what I use a lot of times will do is I'll hit File Explorer and open another tab or another window. So let's just go to my desktop, for instance, and I can then take that tab and drop it here. And now that tab, um, the other tab is within it on the desktop. Oh, hope I didn't screw something up and I won't know where it is now. So let's just, for the heck of it, I'm going to do a Control Z. No, that doesn't undo it. But anyway, you can move things around that way, and then you can have multiple tabs open and then combine them and so on. So if you're not using tabs within File Explorer, and I don't a lot, I probably should start trying to different try different ways of using it. What I end up doing is I end up like we just had. I'll end up with let's see, documents, another one for downloads, and then what I do is I will say, okay, I want to have those two, and I want them side by side. I'll go like this. And so, well, let's see. I want, uh, I can have them like this, or I can have them this one and then use the Alt tab, this, and bring it over here. Well, you can play around with it and you can have different ones. But the nice thing about having two things open like this, you can also change the size. So if you want one larger than the other or smaller than the other, you can do so. And then you can just close that out like that. Okay. Um, let's go to the next one, getting to know Notepad and some of the new features. Let's go ahead and open that article. Getting to know Notepad, new features. This is from Dave's Computer Tips. New Notepad features in Windows 11. You can open a new tab. There are now tabs in Notepad. The addition of tabs is a major improvement. You can use dark mode. I don't like dark mode for most things, so I don't use it. And the reason I don't like it is when I'm demonstrating things, sometimes it's more difficult for people to be able to see it and read what's on it. Spell check and autocorrect are now part of and work much better in Notepad. It vastly improves overall text accuracy. So you can do a spell check. You can have autocorrect on if you want in Notepad. So Windows Notepad in Windows 10 and 11, some of the shared features is find and replace, which it used to have, uh, but it's a little bit different in Windows 11. Search with Bing, so you can do a search for definitions from within Notepad. You can zoom in and out using the keyboard shortcut for Control plus and Control minus to zoom out. So if you open up a, a, a Notepad file, you can make it larger and smaller. And then formatting option, Notepad provides options for a variety of fonts, different font styles, and font sizes. However, remember in Notepad, if you change the font, it changes for the entire document. You can't have different fonts within one Notepad document. And it automatically adds a time and date stamp. Notepad's been doing this for years. This tip is particularly useful in maintaining a journal. You open a new instance of Notepad, and then just type in .log as the first line and then save this file. And then from now on, every time you open the file, the current time and date will be automatically inserted. From there, all you have to do is type in your new notes. So with that, let me go ahead and stop the share. I use Notepad a lot, and I'm wondering how many others do. Any comments, questions? Raise your hand like this if you just use Notepad.
I'm a
Yeah.
Notepad++ fan.
Yeah, that's a third party program. Yep. It
Yeah.
does a little bit more, but before you go to that extreme where you're going to install more software, you might want to try Notepad. And if you require more things, you might want to then look at something like Notepad++. Jolyn?
Yeah, I think it's working great. Both the new File Explorer I work well with and Notepad definitely. I like the way that it keeps all the tabs. They're not all individual files, so you can have multiple tabs open. Um, one of the little extensions I have is one that I think either y'all, I forget who recommended it, but I use it. It takes all the open tabs and creates a text file. And that has been so helpful for me in remembering stuff that I've learned online and can share with the computer club. So that the Notepad is working really, really well.
You can find what that extension is if you'd put it in the chat. I'd appreciate it. I'm not familiar with it, or it just doesn't ring a bell with me, and I'd
Will
like to
do.
take a look at that, and maybe somebody else might too. Bob G,
Will
your
do.
hand is up.
Notepad, I'd be lost without it. I use it more than I do full-fledged Word document management software. The nice thing about the tabs now is they don't disappear when you close Windows. They come back when you reopen Windows. And the secret is that if you close the main window, all tabs are saved. If you close an individual window, then you can save it or say, nah, I don't need this anymore. It's garbage. But if you're closing the main notepad itself, everything that's in it isn't gone. It's still there. And that has been the greatest saver for since they made the changes.
I totally agree. I love that. And frequently I have to look to see, I've got so many of them open that I then go back, and then the ones I don't need anymore, I do
Yeah, you do have to close
tell
them
to
every
close.
once in a
Yeah.
while. It gets
Yeah.
confusing if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a big list of them. Stephen, your hand is
Yeah,
up.
I use Notepad too. I mean, I have it open all the time, usually multiple copies. The nice thing about it, if you're copying something from, say, a website, and you don't care about all the pictures, you just want the text, just go ahead and copy all, and all you get is the text. You don't have to worry about messing with the pictures, the images and so on. So no, it's and you can do searches on it too. So the same as you would do a search in Word. It's very, very easy to use. So yeah, I agree. It's one of the best products that
Yeah, and sometimes I want to copy an article. In that article, there are all kinds of links. So if I copy it and paste it into Word, all those links still are there. If I
Yep.
copy it into to Word, I'm sorry, to Notepad, those
right.
links aren't there any longer.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Well, if you do put it into Word, you can do a right click and select how you want it imported. And you can either save the links or not use the links. So you do have that option even in Word.
Oh, I didn't know
Just
that.
use
So
a
that's
right
helpful.
click instead of just import it.
Instead
Right.
of pasting, you mean?
Yeah, when you paste it, do a right click and you have a selection of how you want it to be pasted. You can use the formatting from the article itself. You can save links. You can discard the links or turn them into regular text. All of that's available if you use the right click instead of just select paste.
Ah.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Drew, you have your hand up.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe Bob G has seen this. Do you know if Microsoft is going to do in File Explorer what they've done in Notepad in terms of being able to, when you reopen File Explorer, restore the tabs that you had before.
As far as I know, if you have tabs in it, when you open it, the tabs are still there. Now, I don't use the
Oh,
tabs very often in File Explorer, but from what I remember, if you have a tab open besides the actual one that opens when you open File Explorer, it'll be there when you reopen it.
huh. That doesn't work that way on mine. I'll have
I
to
don't
look into that.
recall. Yeah, I will too, because I don't recall that
I
either,
have to take
but I
another
might not be
look,
doing
Drew.
it right.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Any other comments, questions? I don't know about you, but I've learned a lot of new things so far today. So even though I'm presenting a lot of things, I always learn while we're talking and some of your comments and some of the things that find in the articles.
One of the
So,
other things to consider, you said with making things bigger and or smaller, besides the up and down arrow, you can also use the control button and then use the mouse wheel up or down. That has the same effect. So if you have a mouse wheel, which is also known as the middle mouse button, unless you have a specific button, but you can scroll up and down as long as you're holding down the control key and you make things bigger or smaller. You
is
can
that
also in
true?
Windows 11 use your volume all the way on the right hand side and scroll your mouse button up or down, makes it softer, I mean, higher or lower as far as the volume goes.
Oh,
We could have a session just on mouse buttons, huh?
yeah, and Windows Explorer, what you're saying, and let me share my screen here and share. So if I open up, close this, well, I should have just left that open. But let's say I open up a File Explorer. I can make this larger. No, if I use the wheel, it's not zooming, it's moving up and
No, no,
down.
no.
How
When places where you can use your control and the up or down arrow, you can
okay.
use the mouse wheel instead of the up and down arrow. Most people have their fingers on their mouse all the time.
Yeah, right now I'm scrolling. I'm using the scroll wheel on my mouse
Right.
instead of using the keyboard. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but if you want to make things larger and smaller in places where there's text and stuff, control and then your mouse, your scroll wheel.
Oh, okay. You're saying use the Windows key or the control key?
Control key, same place where you use the text. You were demonstrating making text larger and smaller by
Right.
using
So,
control and the up and down arrow.
okay. Now I'm holding the control key down and
Right. Now
using
use your
using the
mouse wheel
button.
instead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, but it's
Right.
changing the views.
Because it's making your text larger.
Yeah. Well, it's
If it
doing a
makes
lot.
things larger, it'll change what you're seeing.
Yeah, but it's changing it's going between all of these. It's not making it larger. Well, it is because there's extra large large icons, and so on. But it's just changing the view in Windows Explorer. Holding the control key down and then using the mouse wheel will change the various views. It's not
Does
really
anyone know
changing
how to,
this.
do you know how to simulate that on a mouse pad, on a trackpad, how do you do a middle wheel on a laptop?
Anyone?
Even on a laptop, I have a mouse. I don't use the pad.
I think if you hold a
That'd be a
control.
double finger or
Yeah, so there's
yeah.
some kind of a keystroke, a finger stroke, or you hold a control key down and one or two fingers, something like that. So you'd have to. That's a good question for
I believe it's a
Copilot.
two finger scroll is your
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, getting to Notepad. Okay, remote camera trigger tricks. let's take a look at that. This is from a website called Advisorator. That's going newsletter I think I get. Uh, Tip of the week, remote camera trigger tricks. Uh, Solving my clipboard history headaches and why not to pay. Oh no, that's something else. And he says who he is. Okay, want to take a photo of yourself from far away, assuming you've got a safe spot to prop up your phone. Use these methods to trigger the shutter. So this would be on your phone that we're talking about. Let me just close this out here. Use a timer. Pretty much every phone has a shutter timer function, usually indicated by a timer icon. But those icons are so small, it's hard to figure them out. But uh, get some directions or try to figure out which one is the timer icon. And then to find it on the iPhone, for instance, tap the up arrow near the top of the screen and then scroll right on the bottom control pane. So that's one way. Use a timer. And as it says, most of the phones have a timer in the camera function. Use your smartwatch. Start the timer from your watch using the camera remote app on an Apple Watch or the camera app on Wear OS watches. And you can set it up from your uh, setting up a timer on your smartwatch. You can use your voice. On Android phones, say, "Hey G, take a photo," or "Hey G, take a selfie." On Samsung phones, you can also say these words, cheese, capture, smile, or shoot while the camera is open. And you may need to enable this first by tapping the gear icon and heading to the shooting methods and then voice commands. But you can say cheese and it will snap the picture. And then use your palm. On the Pixel phones, hold your palm up to the camera to start the shutter timer. By default, this only works when the timer mode is enabled. You can set it to work at all times by tapping the gear icon and changing the palm timer setting. So that's on Pixel phones. I know several of you have Pixel phones. And then using the iOS 18 beta, which will be released soon, you can also use vocal actions to set up a voice-activated camera trigger. Just assign a phrase like, say, cheese, to the volume up button. So let's see, there's some other things in this article. How I solve my clipboard history headaches. Here's a scenario I run into often. I copy a link, image, or snippet of text. I copy another link, image, or snippet of a text, overwriting the previous clipboard item. Now I realize that I need to paste the original item, so I waste a bunch of time finding it, copying it all over again. On Windows PCs, this is never a problem using Microsoft's built-in clipboard history tool. You can easily retrieve a list of previously copied items by pressing Win-V and then selecting the one you want. And let me show you, if I do Win-V, you may see some things I don't want you to. No, I rebooted, that's why. Okay, so let me just go ahead and say, okay, here, I'll do this for Control C. And then if I then went ahead and said, okay, I want to grab this sentence and do a Control C, that first one is gone. But if you use Windows V, what you'll see, and I'll bring it up here, what you'll see here, here's the second one I did, here's the first one, and I can move back and forth. And so now if I paste, it's going to be that first sentence. And if I do a Control or Windows V again, the two of them are there. And so if I do this several times, I will have several items in there and I can go back. So this is built into Windows. So if you have trouble doing that, this is a good way to save you some time. And on that may be something most of you didn't know. Steve Parker?
Yeah, you can also get a little Bluetooth remote for controlling the shutter on your cell phone on the camera. So you can turn it on or off remotely that way.
Yeah, and on the Samsung Galaxy S series, you get a pen with it. And the pen sits in the phone itself. You can then you push it up and it comes out, and there's a button on there, and you can use that button on the pen to use as a trigger for your phone. Stephen, your hand is up.
Yeah, I think what you just showed is maybe available only on Windows 11. I don't think Windows 10 allows that same kind of multiple
That's
copy
correct.
and paste.
Not yet.
Okay. So,
But that is handy.
oh,
I
I
was
wish I
using
had it.
yeah, I was
Oh,
using a program. I was using a
I love it.
program that uh, saved all of those, but I was having trouble. It was one that was from early 2000s. It had not been updated, and I was having issues with it.
Back to Alex.
Well, were you saying that the Windows V doesn't work in Windows 10?
Correct. It's a Windows 11 function.
No, I've been using Windows 10 and it works perfectly fine. I've been using it for a long time. The Windows V and Windows copy and all the rest of it. And I see exactly what he just showed. So I know for sure it works in 10.
I'll give
Are
it a
you
try.
sure that the history is saved in Windows 10? Because it doesn't
Yep,
save it on mine.
it does on
I'll
mine.
have to double check. Okay.
Might be something you have to turn on. Again, use
Yeah,
Copilot.
in settings, there's an option to turn on the clipboard history.
There we go. We saved you some time and effort, and now it was worth the time to come and spend on the WinSig today. That's what I like about this. We always learn something new just from what other people do. Okay, let's go ahead. If there's no other comments or questions, we'll share again. And oh, this is it. Let's see. Whoops. Why you should think twice before connecting to your hotel's Wi-Fi on your next vacation, or for whatever reason you're at a hotel. Nothing beats reclining in a luxurious hotel room on the first night of a much anticipated vacation, ready to connect to your devices to the free Wi-Fi and start blissfully scrolling through your favorite apps and websites. Truth be told, it's a ritual that most of us engage without second thought. While we all know the dangers of public Wi-Fi, what could be safer than a cozy confines of a reputable hotel Wi-Fi connection? But is the hotel Wi-Fi safe? Unfortunately, the chilling reality is your data, your personal information, and even your hard-earned money could be at risk every time you connect to a hotel Wi-Fi. And with thousands of guests using Wi-Fi connections in hotels at any given moment, getting hacked while on vacation is no longer just a remote possibility. It's an unsettling smartphone security threat, and it's on the rise. So before your next getaway, read up on the alarming risks of using hotel Wi-Fi, as well as the online security tips and steps you need to take to protect yourself from the hidden danger. So, is hotel Wi-Fi safe? Hotel Wi-Fi networks, often left unsecured or protected by outdated security measures, provide a fertile ground for cyber criminals. Once these criminals gain access to an unprotected Wi-Fi router, they can intercept data from any other device on the network, allowing them to spy on your online activities, steal your passwords and personal information, and even manipulate your devices, all without your knowledge. To understand how this works, think of the connection between a Wi-Fi router and a device as a two-way bridge where malware can travel in either direction. Sophisticated malware from an infected device can spread to the Wi-Fi router and infect other devices connected to the network. This is from a cybersecurity expert at NordVPN. It can also stay in the router and collect data from other device from another device or any device in the network, or change router settings and redirect users to a malicious website. So, but what if the hotel networks offer advanced speed or require passwords? Is hotel Wi-Fi safe then? Not always, said Greg Smith, CEO at MISI, a cybersecurity nonprofit. In fact, hotels themselves can view basic information like your device's info and the time of your connection when you connect to their Wi-Fi network. Readers need to understand that they are vulnerable to the many threats that exist in the wild. Take preventive online security measures to make sure your next vacation doesn't become a nightmare. And then it says, what are the risks? Scams and so on. The risk is unprotected connections, installing spyware, and then how to stay safe. To protect your device when connecting to hotel Wi-Fi. This person suggests using firewalls or other tools that fight off malware or hijackers like a VPN. In this case, because the article is coming from NordVPN, they're suggesting theirs, but any VPN threat protection software. He also recommends checking to see that the websites you have that have HTTPS in their URLs to ensure that you're using a secure connection when browsing online. And then, of course, be careful with phishing, and then how to stay safe. Is hotel Wi-Fi safe enough to access a bank account? The answer is, unfortunately, is no. Avoid sharing sensitive information or logging in to critical accounts such as your bank account when using hotel Wi-Fi. Instead, limit your web browsing to simple, safe activities like searching Google or checking social media. No matter how safe a hotel's Wi-Fi appears to be, malware acts quietly and invisibly to steal your data, so you never know if the network has been compromised until it's too late. And so how to stay safe. When you check into the hotel, ask the person at the reception desk to give an exact name and password for the provided Wi-Fi. He also advises using a VPN service on your devices, which will encrypt your data as you browse the web and block third parties from intercepting your online activity. Let's see. There's some other things here. What are they talking about? Believe it or not, the smart TV in your hotel room can become a gateway for cyber criminals. Thanks to the TV's established connection to the hotel Wi-Fi, hackers who gain access to the network can weasel their way into the smart TVs too. Depending upon the aim of the intruders, a hacked smart TV could be used for a number of cyber crimes, from cyber stalking travelers with built-in microphones or cameras to stealing personal credentials used to log into apps on the smart TV and selling them on the dark web. Even if hackers have just access to the hotel's Wi-Fi network, they still can collect the browsing history on your devices and use it to stalk or threaten you. How to stay safe with that. If you have a smart TV in your hotel room, they suggest keeping it unplugged from the power sources when it's not being used. You should also cover the TV's webcam, if there is one, and avoid logging in with personal credentials to migrate your risks of getting hacked. So don't go to net to any of the movie channels and sign in on that TV, because that could be compromised. And so there's some other things here too that you might want to read. So what to do if you're hacked, and then it tells you what to do, and then talks about the people that wrote the article. So I find that interesting. Let's go ahead and stop the share for a moment and see if anyone had any experiences with hotels uh, issues and so on. Bob, you have your hand up. There's probably some additional things they can do, right?
Very simple rule. Open Wi-Fi. Any Wi-Fi network where you do not control its security isn't something you should be using because very simple. Hackers have as much access to it as you do.
Okay, anyone had any either good or bad experiences using hotel Wi-Fi or now what do you do if you're not going to use the hotel Wi-Fi? Well, it's a phone.
That you're safe, your cell phone is
Just
secure. If you have a VPN that you can start before you start doing anything on the internet when you're using the hotel's Wi-Fi, that secures you.
and if you've been to that hotel before and have signed in, it may remember it. So what I suggest you do, and I'm sure Bob would agree, is turn off your Wi-Fi. So it can't connect automatically or can't connect. And so just don't use Wi-Fi and just use your cell. Now, if you're using a laptop, what you want to do, and you can do that, you can plug in your phone to charge it, keeping it charged. And then if you have, if you're paying for the your phone to be a hotspot, then turn your hotspot on and then connect uh, your laptop to that hotspot's Wi-Fi, and then you will be protected. Anyone else with any comments, questions?
Yeah. I travel with my own, I haven't done it in a while, but I travel with my own little Fire Stick. And rather than using the smart TV features, I just use my own smart TV features.
Yeah, Bob, any ideas if that's as safe, if that is safe? I would suppose it would be,
If
but
you're plugging your Fire Stick into the hotel's smart TV, it's not safe.
Well,
If you're
I,
using your laptop and you're plugging in and you have a safe connection on your laptop, you can use your laptop as a TV. That's safe. Or don't use anything where you have to give away your information. Remember, your Fire Stick does have proprietary stuff on it for you.
yeah, it goes through a VPN and through my phone, not through the hotel Wi-Fi.
If you're
So
going through your phone, then you're not using
I
the
just use it.
phone's
I
network.
just haven't been to a hotel where they had a smart TV, where they were dumb TVs, and I just wanted to project up onto my TV, so I would bring the Fire Stick with me.
then you
This was
connect
back. This
your
was
laptop to the TV. Yeah.
yeah. This was before smart TVs were in hotels.
Okay. Anybody else with any experiences or things they want to share? We got about 5 minutes and we got a couple articles left. Let's go back and see what we've got. Google Chrome's hidden link preview feature is actually pretty useful. Google Chrome is constantly being updated. This is the browser now. Whether to add new features, speaking of advertisements, like AI-powered image searches, or take away beloved functionality and killing popular extensions in the process. In this case, we're talking about the former. Starting with version 124 of Chrome, there's been a hidden preview feature that can show you a link impression of linked page before you actually visit it in earnest. When this hidden preview feature is enabled, I'm not sure if I have it enabled. Uh, you've got to go in and link preview and then enable it. So if I find let's see if I can find a link here somewhere. There's one. Apparently, I don't have it. Or do I have to click on something? Let's see what it says here.
Alt key and click.
Alt key. No, apparently I don't have something here. No. Okay, I don't have it turned on. Uh, enable the hidden power view. You may have to turn on the flags, or you may have to just turn it on, depends upon whether it's been activated in your browser or not. But I think that's it. It's a good thing. And what you want to do is just be careful that uh, when going to a website, especially if it's one that's using Bitly or tiny URL or something, you really need to be careful where you're going. Use DuckDuckGo's email aliases. Use DuckDuckGo's email aliases like a super user. Email aliases protect your privacy and your security. When using an email alias, a hacker cannot learn your real email address or any other details about you from a data breach. In addition, email aliases can reduce spam. Now, one of the things I know Drew has taught me, there's ways to make a email address unique, but it's not making it an alias. It's making it unique so you can tell who answers that email, but it's still connected to your Gmail account. That's not what this is saying. An email alias is known as a masked email, is an address that forwards any messages it receives to your personal email. Because there's no revealing information in the email alias, your identity is protected when you sign up for online services and subscriptions. And this is a diagram of it. For example, your email address is first.last@email.com, which is obviously a fake email address. And you create an alias of capital BZMSD4UK at alias.com. If an online retailer requires you to create an account to check out, then you can use that address instead of first.last@email.com. You will still receive the receipt, and that's automatically forwarded to your first.last email address, but the retailer won't have your real email address. Comparison of email alias services. There's several of them. Here's a comparison of 5 of them. Simple Logon, Anon Addy, Firefox Relay, and Fastmail, which is a mail service which includes aliases, and DuckDuckGo. 4 of them are paid services. 3 have limited free plans. DuckDuckGo is completely free and unlimited. Mike, does Proton Mail have aliases as well? And is it free?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they use SL Mail, and you get up to 10 free addresses if you have the basic plan, and then it's unlimited if you are a premium user of Proton Mail.
And when you say SL Mail, I'm guessing that's Simple Login?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, since DuckDuckGo is free and has no limitations, when this author uses to set up DuckDuckGo email aliases, you'll need to have a DuckDuckGo extension loaded on your browser. So it doesn't have to be the DuckDuckGo browser. It can be your Chrome browser. Right. If it's not loaded, you will be prompted to load it, and then see below to how DuckDuckGo without the browser extension. And so it explains how to do it and how to set it up.
Yep. And Simple Login is in the Google Play App Store. For those of you who don't know, you want to do that alias email, you can just load their app.
And how much does that cost to use it?
I use the free service that comes with their program.
Okay. And that's you're limited to how many aliases you can have, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 10 with the free service.
Okay. So obviously some of you use that, and others probably should consider it. So you don't have to give your email address away for everything. And there's one more
comment. Just a second. One of the cybersecurity methods is to set up that address, just like you said. and then use that same provider to create a user ID that's using the hashed portion of the code, like if, let's say it was Mike U, which is me, dot, and then XYZ123, whatever the thing was, at slmail.com. Well, you can then create another one which will have a different user. You may not even activate it, but the user ID is generated by the service. So I might have Mike U18.cdef, and then I'd use it with the generated name. So now you are obfuscating who you are as well as what your email address is, making it much harder to penetrate your system.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Fred, you have your hand up.
Yeah, the Apple iOS on the iPad, it defaults when you respond to any inquiry for your email, it defaults to masking your email if you so wish. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a third party or anything. And I use it extensively with my Gmail accounts. So I really don't have to worry about that by downloading a third party app.
Well, how do you do it then?
It's an option. It's an option. When you get the inquiry for your email, it says right there, do you want to spoof your email, and it will be delivered to your real email, but they send back a spoof email.
Does Apple do that by default?
Yes, on the iPad. Yes.
I'll have to try that on my iPad. Never used it. Okay, it's 2:46, so we've hit our time allotment. Fred, do you have something more, or you want to put your hand down? Thank you. Any other comments or final comments before we end this?
Yeah, just going back to Notepad, I don't think you mentioned F5 is the timestamp in Notepad, and you said that Notepad defaults to the current time. Well, when you do F5, you can take notes and you can do a timestamp. So if I have one particular Notepad that I use for annotating something, I can hit F5 and it updates a new entry with a new timestamp. I've used that for many, many years.
Good point. Yes. So you can do the .logon at the top of the document. So every time you open it, it will timestamp it. But if you want to do it manually, all you got to do is hit F5.
Right.
Steve Hall, final comment.
Oh yeah. Oh, this has been so worth it. I finally tried what you said with Notepad. You copy, you paste a couple of things, and then it's Windows V. I think I missed that the first time. You click on Windows V, and a little list comes up. You just pick the one that you want to copy again. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. That is going to be worth $1 million.
Great. I'm glad we could help and glad you learned that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other final comments?
Thank
Sure, once
you.
again.
Great group of links. Thank you. Great discussion, everybody.
This has been the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group, WinSig, for Sunday, September 8th, 2024. We'll see you next month, and we'll see you at many of the other groups and online service. Thanks for joining, and that will do it for today.